This year-and-a-half-old water heater was unalived by Mother Nature. For the past month, it has been below zero in my city. Exposed water lines have been breaking left and right. But the one place you would least expect one of your lines to burst is inside your basement. Unfortunately for this customer, their furnace decided it had enough and threw in its towel. And an even more unfortunate part of this story is my customer doesn't even live in this house full-time. In fact, they don't even live in this country. And on top of that, this house is over 100 years old, so insulation is pretty much non-existent. So when the furnace decided it wanted to spend the rest of its life in a scrapyard, it left all the plumbing in the house to fend for itself. And I'm sure I don't need to explain this to everyone, but water and extreme cold temperatures are not a good mix. The first thing to burst was a capped off CPVC line hidden in a wall from a previous botched remodel job. This happened on the second floor, and it pretty much was Niagara Falls pouring down all the way to the basement for about 3 weeks straight. Almost every old house in my area has a floor drain in the basement. And luckily for this customer, that floor drain was working great, which is the only reason why this basement didn't flood out. But at some point during that 3-week indoor freezing rainstorm, this water heater cracked from being frozen. When my customer arrived home and discovered everything that had just happened, he shut down the main and of course called the company to take care of the damages on the first and second floor. It wasn't until I arrived on site and fixed the damaged pipes on the second floor, re-energized the domestic water system before I found the leak on the water heater. Thankfully, my customer does have good homeowners insurance and it covered everything. So we decided to put in another Bradford. Oh yeah, that's right, Team Blue, baby. If you watched all my other water heater installations, I'm sure you've seen that I don't like to put in unions, but I sure wish I put in unions on this one because it would have made this job a lot easier. And don't even jump in the comments and say it's code, because it's not code where I am. And in my opinion, it's just another spot where a leak could form. While we're on the code topic, if you look in the background, you can see that expansion tank was installed. They installed it on this water heater because there's a pressure reducing valve in this house just after the meter. And that pressure reducing valve makes this a closed system. In other words, you need an expansion tank. Oh crap, I forgot I gotta clean up that orange juice on the floor.